From the word go, it always looked really good. And there were some nice details that Terry found. I think like the petrol cap was from like a London bus.
I was at home one day and I was trying to think of the headlights. What could we do? And my wife had a Honda Civic. And I see this. I thought, oh, I could use those. I put them upside down. That'll work. One comment that Tim made about that was, we're too white, can you get the yellow ones? So all I did was just paint them yellow. And that's exactly what we used. Anton was saying that, you know, the big exhaust pipe, which I was thinking about because of the afterburners on jets. So I suggested that thing. And then we had the rear lights. He said, well, everything's round, a round exhaust pipe, so we should have some round back lights, you see. So instead of having them made, which is far too expensive, I was thinking we'd just get some that's already off a car. The Ferrari had round ones. So I contacted Ferrari and we got the round ones, and the round ones stuck them on the end.
Then we had to incorporate the gadgets. So we had 2 Browning machine guns either side. And we had the grappling gun, which used to fire out on the left-hand side. All had to be tested and all difficult things. Hood slides. And there's 2 ears sticking out of the top of the... We hadn't accommodated the 4 inches of his back ears. So that was quite funny after, not on the actual day.
Tim was saying, well, lower the seat. I said, Tim, we can't lower the seats anymore. It's right down the bottom, can't do anything about it. So I believe they made a new hood with slightly shorter ears.
The afterburner had to look like a jet engine firing up, really. So in the end, we finished up with pumping petrol and paraffin in a mixture and getting the burn and gas. And it is quite effective, I thought, in the end. It looked quite good.
The Batmobile, I thought, was incredible. I mean, far better than anything that came later because it had a real honest look. It looked like it was tough. We only had one. And the first time I saw the Batmobile came on the corner, it was going sideways. And I thought, this is it. I'd be on the phone to the producers saying, if I was you, I'd get another one. But the driver just about corrected it in time because it really wasn't that roadworthy.
It could actually go much faster than what the amount of room we had, you know. Just by the time it got up to speed, you know, it's like you're off the studio lot.
But I did drive it. I think I got up to the speed of about 75 miles an hour. I thought the car was going to take off. And I can tell you when you're driving the car, because it's left-hand drive, the bonnet seems to go on forever.
I did drive it for a second. I don't think they wanted me to drive it, given my driving record. Yeah.
I remember when we did the chemical factory, and it was just supposed to be a little tiny car chase. You know, but once I saw that Batmobile, I said to Tim, you know, we've got to, you know, we did a whole sequence instead of just a couple of shots.
Chemical factory scene with the Batmobile was a tricky situation for us in the fact that we had so many elements with the Batmobile charging through the chemical works. Had to be doing 30 miles an hour, explosions going either side of it.
We started off with 2 or 3 shots. We probably ended up doing 15 or 20 to make a whole sequence, you know. And it's all in the film, which is always quite nice.
Even though it seems insurmountable, you always get it done.
When you see something that you've been living with for about 4 months, and you see it spraying up, you see all the gadgets in it, you sort of went, well, this is definitely everything I thought it would be.
Big movie, and wonderful. I mean, Batmobile, all the effects we had to do. I mean, it's a challenge. So it's quite a feat, you know, we're quite proud of that.
great thing about Joel is he gave us a vision, you know, in terms as the team, you know, and the team was Barbara Ling, Tim Flattery, and Charley and I, and a couple of our guys who were really ingenious designers as far as the vehicles went. The kind of process that we brought to the project was based on, you know, what you would do in a design studio. So we had access to technology that at that time was pretty cutting edge through General Motors. We worked with Barbara directly for about probably a 6-week period developing 5 different concepts. There wasn't a lot of excitement with those 5 models. And Joel just wasn't feeling good about it, so he sent us back to start over again. I don't think he felt like
something spectacularly different, which was interesting
really
for me because I had worked on the original 5 models.
The Batmobile in Batman Forever was the inspiration of that was really Giger. You know, Joel was very loved the idea of it being something more organic.
He was inspired by a leather fetish magazine, of all places.
That's probably going to get cut, but it was really organic, really animal-driven. It wasn't automotive.
Yeah, he wanted it to feel like it was a living, breathing entity, not necessarily a car. We showed it to him, and he loved it.
It was a multi-layered vehicle. 3 principal layers of vehicle, one on top of the other. And what we did is a clay model, full-size clay model, and modeled each level, made a mold, and then modeled on top of that the next level, made molds of that, and worked to the 3rd level, and then finally had the sets of tooling. So we actually, in volume, did 3 cars to make 1.
We actually did 2. There was a stunt car and a hero car. It has to be fast. You know, it's a Batmobile, and we used a high-performance V8 engine that's a racing motor, so it had plenty of horsepower. Steering wasn't always a big issue, although there are times when it has to do stunts, and that's why we build 2 cars. One that's designed specifically, doesn't have an interior, it has a different roll cage, you know, to be used in the stunt. Hours, I believe that car, the 2 of them completed, probably had about 8,000 man-hours on it. And it represented about 30 different guys of different trades, different skills, to get it done.
It was such a fast schedule, and the car was so complex, no one knew what it looked like until the day we put it together, which was a couple days before filming. So I started out, you know, brown hair, now it's more gray, and that happened pretty much in about 6 months.
The Batmobile is fabulous. Don't leave home without it.
I think fans of Batman want to come and see a new gadget designed that's going to be different from the gadgets of the last movie.
The old Batmobile was saved us a hell of a lot of money. I mean, it's a Batmobile. The first one's real expensive. The second one is reasonable priced. But the first one is really, really expensive.
It all comes down to really how great your shop is, I think, with vehicles. And we use great guys at TFX.
I got a call from Barbara. Barbara said, "We're going to make another Batman. Can you believe it?"
You now know, oh, if I could do it one more time, I would do.
It was a very lucky day that I met with a friend who said Batman is starting up and they're looking for a vehicle designer. It started out to be based on classic 50s cars with big fenders. We spent a lot of time working on a shape that sort of morphs out of a bullet. So I think that was dropped at some point because the transition was just too crazy over the top. Can't believe I said that.
The inspiration became more the silhouette, becoming something larger, becoming more of a sleek, almost kind of knife cutting through the night sky, so to speak. And the idea of being able to see the engine as something on its own. We gave them a drawing, they would digitize the drawing, and then we'd cut it out of foam as a miniature. And then I could reshape once they put that into clay, then look at the full scale with it.